And I want to thank everyone for joining me on the webinar today. I want to say that this webinar is not for financial advice because I'm not a financial advisor. This is for informational purposes only. Secondly, if you do hear noise in the background, I am in the office making the video or doing the webinar because you may see this on YouTube later on. So if you hear in the backgrounds, that's why you're going to hear the background noise. So let me ask you a couple of questions. One, what do your finances look like right now? Do you see them becoming better, becoming worse, or staying the same over the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Also, how old are you right now? And how old will you be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years? Because out of both of those questions, you can control your finances. You can make decisions to make your finances better, worse, or stay the same. So if you decide to start working with this app that I'm getting ready to introduce to you in a few minutes, if you decide to start working with it tonight, tomorrow, next week, next year, or if you decide to never work with this app, you're still going to be the same age in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. So why not just go ahead and start accumulating this asset, even if you feel like you don't need it, that's going to go up, appreciate in value, and you have it just in case you may need it. Because what people don't realize here in the U.S., and this is pretty much around the world, but I can only speak from the U.S. because I live in the U.S. I've always lived in the U.S. There's a saying here in the U.S. that says, get a good education, which everybody should, and get a good job. Well, coming from my own personal experience, there is no such thing as a good job. And the reason I say that is because your job controls you. And a lot of people that I talk to say, no, it doesn't. Okay, well, it's like this. Why don't you own that Lamborghini or that Bugatti that you want? Why are you not living in a 100,000 square foot house? Why are you living in an apartment or the smaller house or the house that you're living in? Why are you driving the automobile that you're driving? Because, see, you can only buy what your job pays you. And if your job don't control you, okay, so you working a job, don't say anything to anybody at your job, your boss, supervisor, co-workers, nothing. And go on a vacation for 3 weeks or for a month. And then come back to work and see if you still have your job. By the way, why aren't you traveling the world if your job don't control you? Because you're limited in funds, that's why. Because it's like this, a job is set up for you to benefit the company. A job is set up so that you can start working maybe in your teen years, maybe part-time, and you're going to work until the day you die, until they roll you out of that building. That's what they want. Just like this man right here that you see on the screen. He said he's 90 years old and making $14.90 an hour, and money is tight. Now, in some countries, that would be a lot of money, but not here in the U.S. because inflation is so high here in the U.S. The cost of living is just basically out of reach for about 90% of the people that lives here in the U.S. You have millions of people that's living on the street, or they're working full-time jobs, but they're living in their automobiles or storage units. because you're getting paid like what a billionaire friend told me years ago. You get paid what the job is worth, not what you're worth to do the job. And see, you don't even get paid for all the stuff that you have to do before your job every morning to get to your job. Because if you're single, you got to get up basically what, 6:30. If you got to be to work 8:39, and then you got to buy transportation to get to work, or you catching Uber or Lyft, or if you're living in the larger city, you know you're catching the train to work. So some kind of way you're paying to get to work. But then if you have a family, you got to get up basically about 5:30. Make sure you get yourself together and the children together, and get them out the door to make sure that they don't miss the school bus, or you got to drop them off at school, and then you got to go to work and fight that traffic on your way to work so you can get to work. And so all of that part you're not getting paid for, but you're doing it as part of your job so you can get to your job. And then also, it's like this. If you're basically mid 40s, I'll say at least 40 or 40 and above, you are a millionaire. You've made $1 million over your career. So why don't you have $700,000, $800,000, $900,000 saved up in a savings account? Because of you're being taxed. You're being taxed to death. You can't make it. Because your gross and your net, the reason it's no way near, those figures are no way near each other, is basically because between 40 and 48%, I've seen as high as 56% of your check is gone before you get it. You're being taxed. You got state tax, federal tax. Some people have local tax. You have Social Security coming out. You got Medicare, Medicaid coming out. There's some other taxes in there, and you know it varies by state. And see, we haven't even counted your benefits yet. You like your health insurance, and if you got eyeglasses and things like that, all that insurance you're paying for. And then you still got to take out for your retirement. So you're being taxed right there. Then you're being taxed again when you go to buy stuff. When you go to buy gas for your vehicle, tax. When you go to the grocery store to buy food, tax. So if they don't get you on the front end, they're going to get you on the back end. And then you're wondering why you're struggling. Because when you just work a job and collect a paycheck, you're accepting what they want to give you. So, the app that I'm getting ready to introduce to you is a Bitcoin cloud mining app. It was first introduced on the Google platform, and then later on it was approved to be on the Apple platform. At the time of this webinar, it is not in the Google Play Store. Google made some updates to its terms and conditions, so it was removed. It's been removed from the Google Play Store. The developers of the app is updating the app so it can be put back on the Google platform. So, if you were using this app before it was removed from the Play Store, and you can download the app and your phone or your tablet will accept the apps, then you're good. But like me, I'm an Android user, right? And I don't have the latest and greatest phone. I have a budget phone. My phone would accept the updates, but it would not install the updates because the updates was coming through Google Chrome and not through the Google Play Store. So what I had to do was go out and buy a Apple device. You can buy an inexpensive Apple device or an expensive Apple device. But I went and bought an inexpensive Apple phone. So once you buy the device, if you need to buy the device, what you need to do is go to the Play Store and search for Bitcoin Cloud Mining. That's what you need to put in the search box. And look for that particular icon so you'll know which app you need to download. So once you download the app, you need to go ahead and register with the app so you can get inside of the app. So once you're inside the app, this is what your home screen going to look like. Now, for me personally, I am giving away a $5,000 Bitcoin bonus to people that register with me. And the way you qualify for it, the first part, the way you qualify for it, is this right here. In the lower right-hand corner of the screen, it says profile. Click on that. Now, when you're looking at this screen, you notice in the left-hand corner, in that left box, it has my referral code in there. You need to write it down. Because when you're looking at this screen on your device, your referral code will be in that box. So after you've written my code down, the blue box at the top of the screen where it says enter the invitation code, once you click on it, another box will appear. That's where you need to enter in my referral code and then click confirm. Now, this is also a good way for you to know how to register manually. So, and I'm gonna show you how to register people with this app in a couple of minutes. But when you send out your link to people to refer people to this app, and if the link doesn't work, now you know how to register people manually with this app so they can be registered with you. Okay? So we're going to click on home, which is in the lower left-hand corner of the screen. Now, this number here, that's your overall earnings. Whether you're mining for free or if you have you purchase contracts, that's your overall earnings. That's how you earning Bitcoin 24/7. This number here, that box on the left, that's what you personally mined on the day before. That's just personally what you've done, whether you mining for free or if you are mining with contracts and for free. That's what that number represents. This number here, that right there, is your overall, your grand total of earnings that you received for helping people register with this app and start using the app. So after midnight every day, the app is going to look and see how much your referrals earned on the previous day and give you a 10% referral bonus. So that's where that number comes from. This number doesn't reset, it just keeps counting up every day. Now, this box right here, at midnight every day, every calendar day at midnight, it turns blue. When you click on it, it turns gray just like this. And you can only click on it once every calendar day. It gives you 8 hours of free mining power. And it also keeps your miners activated. So every calendar day, you have to click on this button. Now, these numbers right here, if yours look different from mine, is based on the higher you get a base rate, but when you buy contracts, those numbers increase. So if you purchase more contracts than me, then your number will be higher than mine. So if you purchase less contracts than me, then your number is going to be lower than mine. Okay? This button right here, you see it says of 20. You need to watch. These are ads that you can watch. What it is, the developers of the app, they have Bitcoin miners running 24/7. Over time, they lose their efficiency. So to help offset the efficiency loss, you have to watch 10 ads here every calendar day. So between midnight and 11:59 p.m., you need to watch 10 ads. Now, mine does say of 20 on this webinar. Reason being, on yesterday, I got busy doing some family things and doing some other stuff. So I didn't watch any ads yesterday. So it went up by 10. There've been times where I watched 5 of 10. And so then the next day it was 15 ads I needed to watch. So after I watch all 20 of these ads tonight, then tomorrow it'll drop back down to 10. So if it goes up to 25 or 30, then the next day if you watch all those ads the very next day, then it's going to drop back down by 10 and drop back down until it gets to 10 again. So I just want you to be aware of that. But like I said, these are ads that you watch, and you need to watch those every calendar day. And it gives you free mining power for 8 hours. So each ad gives you free mining power for 8 hours. So this app, what I just showed you, and what I'm getting ready to show you something else also, no one can say that you took advantage of them or this is a Ponzi scheme, because you do not have to purchase any mining contracts to earn Bitcoin. You can earn them for free. I just showed you 2 ways of doing it. Now, this right here, those are ads you can watch also, but those are optional. Now, each ad that you watch gives you 24 hours of additional free mining power. But like I said, this one is mandatory every calendar day. This one is mandatory every calendar day. This one is optional. So you could use this app for 5 years and never watch an ad over here. Or you might want to watch one ad one day, and 3 years later, you might watch another ad. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you what an ad looks like.
By buying virtual land right where you're standing. Here's how it works. Download Atlas Earth, buy some land in your area, and you'll start earning virtual rent right away. And yes, that rent can be cashed out for real money. It's super easy and fun. Give Atlas Earth a try today.
And all you need to do is click on done. Now, usually on this side of the screen, you'll see a X or some arrows that's point to the right, or you might see Play Store, right where that is. After the ad finished, because each ad going to run about, I don't know, probably about 45 seconds, minute 15 seconds, even a minute and a half. It could. So once that appears on that side, you just click on it and then done. because it's sitting up. Sometimes I can't touch it just right. Then it come to this screen, then something will appear on this side. And you just click on whatever's on this side, whether it be the X or the arrows, and it comes back to this screen. Now you just got credit for watching that ad. And it just flip to this screen right here. And then just click this arrow and you back to this screen again, and you just click it again to watch the next ad. And so that's how ads work for down here also. This one won't give you an ad. It just turns gray and gives you the additional mining power. But like I said, that's 8 hours, that's 8 hours, and this is 24 hours. Now we can click on store. This is where you buy the contract from. When you registered, you had to register under your country's name. So since I live in the United States, all these prices down here is going to be in USD, United States dollars. All right. All these contracts have a different price point. So you got something for everybody. This 200 gigahash contract is $9.99 plus sales tax. And it goes all the way on up to 25 terahash for $999.99 plus sales tax. Okay. Now, also, you can only buy 3 of each contract. So if I buy 3 of this one, it's going to turn gray and I can't buy any more of it. If I buy 3 of this one, it's going to turn gray and I can't buy any more of it. Also, and the last thing, each contract that you buy, whether you buy 3 all here or 1 here, 2 here, 1 here, whatever, every time you buy a contract, it's yours for life. So you don't have, it's not like a subscription where you have to renew it every month or every 3 months. It's yours for life. And I just want to make that clear. Now, this is how you make your withdrawals. Click on withdraw. You can use the Lightning Network or the regular Bitcoin network. Now, let me say this real quick for people that's new to crypto. Lightning Network, you have to download a app to withdraw to the Lightning Network. And you can Google it, Bing it, whatever. Just do a search engine for Lightning Network wallets, and it'll give you a list of them. I like using Speed Wallet, and then I'll use ZBD. I like using Speed Wallet because on most of these apps, you can just put your Speed Wallet address, your Lightning Network address in without having to create an invoice. But like with this one, you have to create an invoice, and you can just go on YouTube to see how to create an invoice, a Lightning Network wallet invoice, and it'll show you how to do it. Now, and that's what you call a hot wallet. Any wallet that's online or app is online also. That's a hot wallet. Or you can use the regular Bitcoin network. Now, if you have an account, say like with a Coinbase or Crypto.com or something like that, that's where you would withdraw to the regular Bitcoin network. You can't make a withdrawal using the Lightning Network to a regular Bitcoin network. Okay, now, anything like Coinbase, Crypto.com, things like that, it's a hot wallet also. I'm not particularly a favor of hot wallets. I don't keep my crypto on a hot wallet just because of the simple fact that you have people that's trying to hack into these platforms all the time and steal your crypto. I have a cold storage wallet. A cold storage wallet is a wallet that you physically hold in your hand. A person can't hack into it because there's so many factors. They've got to know when you're online. They got to know when it's hooked up to your computer, like a ledger. Like that's what I have. I have a ledger and I also have a Tandem. But like with ledger, they got to know when you're online and They got to be able to have access to your computer or your laptop, and then they got to have your password to your Ledger wallet, Cold Storage wallet, all this stuff that they're not gonna have. Okay, but that's what I usually do. The only time I use my Lightning is if I'm gonna make a withdrawal from this app or some other apps that I'm using, Bitcoin Cloud Miner apps that I'm using, that I'm not introducing anybody into right now because they're still in the developmental stage. And I'll introduce to you after they come off of the developmental stage. But yeah, I'll keep it in there and then I'll move it, but to my cold storage wallet. So I just want to show you how that works. Now, if we click on profile, if you want to invite someone to this app, you can create a link using invite friends or share, and you can email it to them, text it to them, email it to them. You can also send it to them through social media, a DM, direct message, or you can also create a social media post. So you can post something on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram using those links. If you have any problems, any concerns, any questions about the app, just click on settings and then contact us so you can email them, the developers of the app. Now, going back to the $5,000 Bitcoin bonus that I'm giving away to people. What you need to do, you need to earn one whole Bitcoin after you entered in my referral code. That's why in the very beginning, before we did any earnings, when I showed you the home page and we came to this page right here, I showed you how to register with me. I wanted you to go ahead and get registered with me so you don't miss any earnings. I want every last Satoshi to count towards your $5,000 Bitcoin bonus. Okay, so once you earn one whole Bitcoin, after you entered in my referral code, you need to take a screenshot of this page, or if you got another camera, a phone, just take a picture of this page, and you need to email it to me. My email, if you're watching this on YouTube, my email will be in the description. If you're watching it on my website, there's an icon down there that you can just click on so you can send me an email. Now, if you never make a withdrawal, once you get a 1 before the decimal point, that's how you know you've earned one whole Bitcoin. If you do make withdrawals, which I suggest you do, I do, because there's a term in crypto says, well, I don't want to confuse you, but like this right here is basically on the developer's platform. So if somebody had hacked into it, they could have steal your crypto. So that's why I make withdrawals often and then send them to my cold storage wallet. Okay, so if you think you're close to it, or if you know that you've earned, like I said, if you hadn't made any withdrawals and you know you have earned one Bitcoin, you need to email that other page to me and put in the subject line your ID number, which is this number up here. Put your ID number in the subject line. And then, of course, just, let me know why you emailing me. And see, what I'm going to do is go in my back office and see all I have is numbers. So I'm going to look for your number to see if you've earned one whole Bitcoin since you've entered in my referral code. Because that's what all these numbers are showing. Because let's say, for instance, you've been using this app for 6 months, a year, however long you've been using it. And then you see this webinar or you see this video on YouTube. You enter in my referral code. And then a month later, a week later, 6 months later, you earn 1 Bitcoin using this app. Where you didn't earn that 1 Bitcoin after you entered in my referral code. So you're not eligible to collect the $5,000 in Bitcoin bonus that I'm giving away to people. So that's why I told you in the very beginning, let's go ahead and get you registered so you don't miss out on any earnings. And I see now that we are hitting the 30-minute mark for this webinar. And so I don't want to weigh down on people's patience. So let me tell you this. Another friend of mine, billionaire friend of mine, years ago said something about a job that people don't realize. He said that from the neck down, you're worth about $15, $20, $25, $30 an hour. But from the neck up, you're priceless. Because even if you just want to work a job, you don't want to do anything extra, you can think. You can come up with a way to make your job more efficient. You can come up with a way to make your job more efficient so you can produce more in a short amount of time. You can come up with a way to earn extra income outside of your job. Or you can come up with a way to where that new way will replace your income, your job's income. So I'm not trying to influence you to start working with this app. I just want you to think, because you're not reared to think. And that's, basically that's the way it was set up in school. The school system here in the United States is set up for you to be a good employee. But see, you're just a number at your job. They will, as they say, lay you off at any time. Because the CEO, the president of the company, they don't have a fiduciary promise to you. They got a fiduciary promise to the shareholders to make them more money, to make the price of the stock of the company increase, to make them more money. But they have no promise to you to make sure that you have a job. They could care less. They could care less whether you have a job, whether you can feed your family or house your family. So I just want to thank everyone for joining on the webinar with me today. And I will see you on the next webinar on tomorrow. So everyone have a great and wonderful and blessed evening.